up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Fit Couples Perspective. How are you today?
Great.
Good. We're hanging out here in Phoenix at our daughter Harper's cheer competition. That's why we're outside right now. And it's nice out here, isn't it?
It sure is. Super nice. Way better than Idaho's been lately.
82 degrees and sunny. We're sitting on some artificial turf in some nice shade. We are excited to be here today, most definitely. And you had a really good topic, so Terica thought of this topic, and we wanted to dive right into it. So what did you want to talk about today?
I wanted to talk about where each of us are going to have 3 fitness lies that I think that people are told or people believe. I don't think that it's necessarily even like it has to be, it's said very often, but I think it's just like normal people's thinking of this.
Yeah.
But, yeah. So.
Like fitness myths, fitness lies. It's kind of how I thought of it. Things that I hear all the time that people, think are true, or that we get a lot of questions about. And those ones where you like get the question, you're like, oh my gosh, this again, right? Yeah. So why don't you start with your first one? First of all, look how cool my shirt is. I know some of you can't see it, but Terica actually had a friend of hers make this shirt. My bank account just hit 0, #cheerdad. So
hitting 0 is like a term used in cheer. If you hit 0, that's the best that your team can do.
Yeah.
So his bank account also.
And after
0.
we just paid $177 to watch our daughter's cheer competition for 2 days.
Ouch.
I'm feeling like it. Okay.
Yeah.
I just had to point that out because it's a cool
It
shirt.
is a pretty cool shirt.
There you have it. All right, what is your first one that you have?
Mine is eating more food will make you lose weight.
Okay.
Because I think especially right now, there's like this huge influx of women fitness influencers that's what they're promoting. And I'm not promoting eating less food. I'm promoting like eating what you're, like if you want to lose weight, eating more isn't going to be your answer. And I get what they're trying to do with like metabolism and stuff. Mm-hmm. But like overall, you're not going to be eating, like some of these girls are like promoting like 3,000 calorie diet.
To lose weight.
Yeah. And so that's like one for me that I just like can't get behind. I can't seem to understand where people are coming from and why they think that would be like how that works, because it's literally science that if you eat less than you are burning, like if you're burning 3,000 calories a day and you're only eating 1,500 calories, literally it's math that you're gonna lose 1,500. I mean, you're gonna be
in a deficit.
Yeah, you're gonna burn 1,500 calories.
Yeah.
So that's, I don't know. What's your take on that? If you were to get on listen to a podcast and a girl's like promoting, and she's like, you guys need to eat more food.
Yeah, it's such a like, listen, I see it all the time. And there's always these girls especially that are like, ladies, why aren't you eating? I hear of ladies eating 2,000 calories a day. Like, what are you doing?
Enough.
Eat 3,000, eat 4,000. Look at me, that's how much I eat. And the problem with that is this, is that there are those people that are gonna burn through a lot of calories in a day. And it's always those naturally thin women that are saying this, that are very active. And that's very dangerous advice to give to other people. Now, yes, if you eat like just super low calories, you're 1,000 calories a day, like you will down-regulate your metabolism to some degree. And there's a point where raising your calories a little bit is going to help, but you need to do that gradually and carefully. There's no way that you're just gonna bounce up to 3,000 or 4,000 calories and you're gonna lose weight. Like, it'll put you in a position where you gain more muscle, and maybe that brings more muscle tone, and people might assume like, oh, look at me, I'm getting leaner because of that. When in all reality, they're not really getting leaner. They're just, gaining more muscle, and so they look more defined. So I think that's a really good one.
Yeah. And I'm also, I think eating more food doesn't mean eating more calories. So I'm saying eating more calories. I'm going to preface it with that because there's a lot of times where people don't eat very much food, but they're actually eating a huge amount of calories. You know what I mean? Like they have a salad, and then it's like, you actually go look on the menu at Applebee's or something, and it's like 2,000 calories for that salad. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I think what I'm saying is calories. If you're actually counting your calories.
Yeah. I mean,
you can do it down to a science of how much you burn, and then decide how much you want to lose and minus the calories from
that part is just science, and
Yeah.
it's dangerous advice to tell somebody just you got to eat more food if you want to lose weight, because that is truly counterproductive from a weight loss standpoint. Now, it might be the right recommendation for somebody, like somebody really truly might benefit more in the long run from eating more food, but not from a fat loss perspective. So my first one that I have is that you can only absorb X amount of protein in one sitting. I oftentimes I hear like 30 grams. Like,
I actually,
you know,
yeah,
you can only
I've definitely heard
absorb 30 grams of protein in one sitting. So why would you ever eat more than that? Because otherwise it just doesn't absorb. It just comes out the other end or something. And that is absolutely...
Comes out the other end. Oh
maybe
my
it
God.
just shoots right out. I don't know. Like, what else would it happen? It just evaporates,
I think people,
turns to fat.
Turns to fat or like turns to carbs.
Yeah,
like,
but
how could that even?
And it just, like, here's the thing, you can eat a lot more protein in one serving if you prefer, and your body is very good at finding a way to utilize that. Is it optimal to have 100 grams of protein in one serving as compared to 30 or 40? Probably not, but just because you're gonna feel better if you have a smaller amount of protein in one serving. What the research shows is you can eat a lot of protein in one sitting, and your body, it just kind of pools those amino acids from the protein together, and they're available for you to use. And what's far more important is just how much you eat on a daily basis. So a lot of people stress about that. Oh man, if I gotta hit 200 grams of protein a day and I can only absorb 30 grams at a time, I have to eat 5 times per day. And it's, no, you don't at all. So the other thing that's funny about that, I always thought, is like, well, 30 grams for who? Are we talking about the 300-pound man, or are we talking about the 100-pound woman?
That's
you know,
true.
like,
That's
it's just such, that's the
even
problem
make
with
sense.
blanket statements, is
Yeah.
they just make no sense at all. So that is a fitness lie that I hear all the time.
Yes. I think another fitness lie, I feel like mine are definitely geared towards women. I would assume actually any man probably over the age of like 40 would probably have this same like mentality or thinking, but it would be that you like do cardio over weights to lose weight.
Yeah.
And I think especially if you are trying to look better, like especially like in clothes or just in general, I think that like lifting weights plays a huge part, because the lasting effects of lifting weights is just so much better to me, in my opinion, than doing cardio. Cardio is like, okay, you've done the cardio, this is where you burn the calories while you're doing the cardio. When you get off that, it almost literally stops. But when you are weightlifting, it continues for, I would assume that it's like depending on how hard you lifted.
Yeah.
But it's the effects continue to burn calories after your workout. And so I think that is, to me, is another fitness lie of like, I feel like any person that wants to lose weight, I feel like the immediate response is like, go running.
Yeah.
You know, like I'm gonna go start running my 5K because I want to lose weight. And I can say for myself that when I was younger, 100%, that was my like first go-to, like immediately. That's if I wanted to lose like 5 pounds or whatever, as like a teenager, young 20-year-old, immediately it was like go run on the treadmill.
Yeah.
Every time. So that's kind of for me, like a huge fitness lie that cardio or running is like the one way to like lose weight quickly. I think that you'll look almost the same if you do cardio. If you lose weight, you can lose weight on cardio. Not saying that at all, but I think you're gonna look the same, except you're gonna look smaller. If you wanna look different, if you wanna look like muscular and have like some shape to your body and have tone, you have to lift weights, and it benefits you.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and I think that a lot of people feel that need to do the cardio just because you get the immediate burn from it. You know, you sweat a lot more, you kind of feel like it's maybe a little more challenging, but you're so right. Like what a lot of people are looking for is a look, and the look that they want is toned and defined, and toned and defined doesn't happen if you don't have muscle. So a lot of times people, I've seen it a lot, where people will cut their cardio down significantly and start lifting weights, and they start achieving the look that they've been chasing for so long. So I think that's a really, really good one.
And I think for women especially, I think that because we're not genetically like just given. I mean, I see like 15-year-olds with like muscles bigger than I have, and I'm like, that's not fair, but like they're just, you know, like that's how their body is made. They just like go through puberty and their muscles are easily obtained, whereas women, it's harder for us to get the look of like a bicep and like a shoulder.
Yeah.
Like naturally women, it's
Takes
hard,
a
it
lot.
takes a lot. So if you want to see the biggest change for women, like for men already look, I think, muscular. Like you can look bigger muscular, but you're not gonna look necessarily like skinny if you just go lift weights. Men always have, like, I feel like some muscle tone, but women, if you lift weights, you will literally change the look of your body. Whereas I think men are always muscular, but they're either like smaller or bigger muscular. So
no, I think you're right, and it's just so important, so important. So my next one is that carbs make you fat. I think that's a huge lie that people
I'm gonna eat
have.
bread again. I'm just kidding.
I think, you know, I think it came from that Atkins diet that was so big for the longest time, which, you know, Dr. Atkins came out and was like high protein, and I think high protein is a good idea, but people completely demonize these carbohydrates. And, you know, what we really need to do is we just need to be aware of the carbohydrates that we're eating, because it's a lot easier to get out of control with your carbs because you end up eating like a lot more of them. Those processed carbohydrates are just easy to eat, and so people eat too many of them, and then they think it's the carbs that make them fat, but it really is just their lack of self-control that adds on the extra body fat.
You don't like just eating hordes of bread?
Right, you know? No, but you know what I mean, like a box of crackers or chips, like all your processed food.
If you think about it, like I can't think of, I mean, sugar is really easy to eat, but I would say carbs is way easier to eat, like a huge plethora. If you think of like, okay, go get like as many like boxes of candy that you like, at some point you're gonna start feeling like kind of sick of eating even after like not that much. Same with fat. Like you couldn't just go sit and eat like a stick of butter. Like literally your body is like like immediately even after you start. But carbs, your body's like, keep it coming.
And they're so easily accessible, those carbohydrates too. They come in the bags, the boxes, you don't have to cook them. Like nobody overeats on, you know, protein, on chicken breast, you know. Fat does get some people in trouble. I mean, if they're like nuts and things like that, like trail mix and all that. So that stuff definitely can mess with people. But, and more so, you know, even part of this too is like carbs after a certain time of day. You know, a lot of people try to avoid carbohydrates at night because they think that makes them fat. What really matters is your overall carbohydrate consumption for the day. You can eat that how you want, but you just need to be aware of it and try to control that, because it can get out of hand in a hurry. Yeah. What's your last one?
My last one is drinking diet soda will make you gain weight. I feel like I've like seen that so many times. We'd be in trouble if that was the case. Like I feel like I've seen, and like I think I've seen studies, maybe it's been done, I don't know, you can put your little, you know, what you think about this, but I feel like I've maybe seen people do like studies where it's like it makes you have more like hunger, like whatever, or it makes your, I feel like it, like there's been studies done even that like it like spikes your blood sugar or something. And I'm like, how is that even possible? I haven't looked at studies. I'm not that worried about it, because you know what? I've drank diet soda for 15 plus years, and for a point of that, I was like drinking, I don't know, like 3 or 4 cans a day. I probably have like 1 a day now, sometimes 0, but then I wasn't any bigger. In fact, I probably was smaller then. I mean, I had less muscle, but so that's, I mean, I think that it's just a myth. I mean, I've done it literally, a scientific study on myself, and I've never seen an effect of like, I've never not drinking it and been like, wow, I don't feel as hungry today, you know? So I've never had that effect.
It's a dumb thing to say. Well, I think the dumb thing that people say is that regular soda is more healthy for you than diet soda. Like, it's one thing to be like, you know, water's a better choice than diet soda, like obviously, but you know, and I shouldn't even say obviously, because sometimes like that diet soda can go a long ways when it comes to just preventing you from losing it on some other stuff that you shouldn't be eating. But it's so silly when people say that it causes weight gain or anything. It has no calories, and like,
well, I think what they're referring to is all the chemicals and stuff in it, but the fact is, is there's so many chemicals in the Coke, the regular
Yeah.
Coke too. So it's not like you're like, oh, it's a natural, like Coke is not a natural, found anywhere naturally. So of course, like it's gonna have chemicals in it as well. So that is kind of like
Diet Coke is definitely a better option than regular Coke. And that's just period. Now, if somebody has something against artificial sweeteners, fine, you don't have to have them. That's okay, and I respect that. But for people to make a claim that diet soda is going to cause you to gain weight is ridiculous, period. If you don't want to have it, you don't like the artificial sweeteners in it, that's fine. Again, I respect that, that's okay. But I think what you're talking about here is that it doesn't cause weight gain. And there is a myth out there, some people will say that it causes you to gain weight, which is absolutely not true.
I think that we should do a study where I just drink diet soda for 1 week and see how much weight I gain. I would lose like 10 pounds,
your
literally.
case study would be a good one. The final one that I have is that fasted cardio is better for you, and it causes you to lose more fat. And for years and years and years, people would just focus so much on doing their fasted cardio and really go out of their way to do fasted cardio because they thought that it caused them to burn more fat than, a regular cardio. And especially in the bodybuilding world, that was huge for so long. And, the fact is, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't. It doesn't make a difference at all when you do your cardio. If it's convenient for you to do fasted cardio, go for it. But if it's not, don't worry about it.
Because, I mean, if you really think about it, it's like, okay, I get where they're like coming from, because it's like, okay, what they're saying is like, your body's gonna immediately go for what's available, which is nothing. So there it's gonna eat your fat. Okay, so later, when you eat the food that you're already gonna eat anyway, like you're gonna eat the same amount of calories through the day.
Out.
Yeah, it balances out, because then those calories don't go anywhere. Because then there's not, I mean, they will, because you're gonna, you're gonna burn up somehow. But what I mean is like immediate. The immediate response is not gonna be there. So that's where it, like you were saying, it just evens itself out.
And it kind of goes down to a talk we had on one of our previous podcasts, which was, that cardio is not really a good tool for burning fat anyways. It's good for your cardiovascular health and it helps to get some extra movement in, but it's just not a great option for burning fat. So even to be like, oh, it's gonna burn a bunch more fat here, a bunch more fat, it's not gonna burn a bunch of fat either way. But if you want to get your cardio in the morning, like what the studies have shown is that you'll actually will burn a little bit more fat in the morning if you do it then, like fasted cardio, but you actually burn less calories than if you do it in a fed state. So again, it kind of balances out. So you do your cardio when you want to do your cardio. It's an absolute myth to say that fasted cardio is going to be better than your fed cardio. And
I can attest to that you would burn more calories like while you're doing the cardio if you're fed, because I've gone like sometimes where I've been eating, or like I eat nothing before, which I usually do. I usually work out pretty fasted, but I will have like my heart rate will just be like so low the entire time. And then when I'm like, if we went to like sushi or something before, oh my gosh, my heart rate would seriously
crank
be
your
like,
metabolism up a little bit there.
It would literally be like 160, where it's like regular like 120, and I'm like trying to get to 130, like just pushing it as hard as I can on this Stairmaster.
That extra 40 beats per minute is just trying to burn off the sushi that you ate, so there's something to that.
Yeah, so it's definitely true.
So there you have it. There's our 3 fitness lies from each of us, and that's our perspective on each one of those. Let us know what other lies you guys see, or if you're like, hey, I think this is a lie, but I'm not sure, and we'd be happy to give our perspective on it as well.
Okay, we'll talk to you guys next time.
See ya.
Bye.